Hello everybody, this is the Goofsome Fox coming at you with a match here in the Dezpada, and this is going to be a follow-up to the last Dezpada video I made because, well, during the June 2023 unit adjustments, the Dezpada did see a few buffs going for it, and if you've seen my last video or anything else I've probably talked about the Dezpada in any of my live streams or anything, you know that it's a suit that I was very mixed about at the time because it did feel like a really good general, but just kind of felt like to me it was missing something that really, like, it didn't work for me, basically. It was a suit that just felt really good, but to me it really just didn't feel like it had everything it needed. Well, I'm actually really glad to say that I think the recent unit adjustments actually may have addressed most of my issues I had. And, well, yeah, we're gonna go in through the buffs here and see what they did. It's actually not that big of a list, if I'm being honest, which I'm not against some minor changes, but hey, it's definitely a much longer list than the Gundam got, so I will say that's already a pretty good sign going for this suit. And, well, Dezpada here, I should mention that the Dezpada is a 550 cost general. Nothing I'll be discussing here will have any reference to the level 2 variant because, well, that wasn't released at the time, so everything I have here is for the level 1 only. And, starting off in, again, Dezpada is a 550 cost general, and starting with our unit features here, the unit HP was increased from 17,000 to 18,000, and already a pretty strong start there because one of my complaints with the Dezpada is mainly the size of your arm weapons here, and yep, those arms do give you a pretty big hitbox, and having a big hitbox means you get hit more, and getting hit more means you lose less HP, so already a pretty good minor change there. Even if it's only 1,000 added, HP still is much better than nothing, and it has helped me out on a few occasions. The rest of our changes here are going to be to this suit's sub-weapons. Starting off with the Dezpada WB missile launcher, this only got one change. These are your much smaller rapid missiles. This only got one change going for it, that being the reload time was shortened from 13 seconds to 10 seconds. A very minor change, and still an appreciated one. The small missiles I feel like were already in a pretty good spot, so I do understand that they really didn't need to change too much about it. I will also mention that a lot of these weapons have shortened reload time, which is mentioned in the reason for these changes, that the Dezpada was running out of weapons very quickly. It was like going through all its weapons, and it didn't have anything to do damage or to go in for melee, so that's mainly the reason why we see a lot of these reload times have been shortened for the weapons here. But, yep, small missile launcher, pretty good change there. Next, we have the Dezpada Beam Saber ×2, and those are your sub-weapon Beam Sabers. And for this, the cooldown time was shortened from 3.5 seconds to 3 seconds. And much like the HP, this is a very strong pro already of a buff going for this suit, because another one of my complaints was that the Dezpada Double Beam Saber had that long the cooldown time, which means that if you did do a swing with it, you would have to wait a pretty good amount of time before you could use that saber again, which is also why I mentioned that the best thing you could do if you want to do a full melee combo was go for the single beam, then the double, then the single. This one kind of addresses the issue of making it a shorter 3 seconds, so that is definitely a much appreciated change there. The Dezpada WB Large Missile, that is your, I guess it's in the name, Large Missile. That's kind of like more like your heavier missile that this suit has. This actually got the most changes out of anything on this suit. And starting off, reload time was shortened from 20 seconds to 15 seconds. Yep, again with that shortened reload time. They also increased guidance performance after shooting, and basically what this is done is, you may have seen it a few times this match, is that it allows you to partially guide the missile. It's not as serious as like the Gundam-like missile guiding, but it is definitely good for, if the target's moving, because at 550, suits move a lot, and they move pretty fast, so having the ability to kind of line up your shot is definitely very helpful. And then finally for that, the weapon switching time was shortened, so you can go into this weapon a lot quicker. And for the final weapon change here, we have the Psyrod. This got two changes going for it, that being the reload time was shortened from 18 seconds to 15 seconds, and they reduced the time between injection and attack initiation. So I think that means, yeah, they sped up the animation to make it attack quicker, which, Psyrod, kind of like the small missiles, I feel like was already a pretty good weapon in itself, so not really too much I think they could have changed for that without going a little overboard with it, so again, very much appreciated changes. And yep, as I mentioned earlier, a lot of these changes really stem from the fact that they said the Dezpada was running out of weapons before it can do too much damage or before it can get its melee in. So that's, again, main reason for a lot of these changes going in here. Also, they improved the amounts of mobile suit losses. The HP had been increased. And speaking of mobile suit losses, I'm going to go through just the reference data real quick. So, starting off, I'm going to go just average general type to the level 1 Dezpada. Average general had a win rate of 49.5. This suit had a 46.3, so yeah, clearly it was not doing too well, so that probably is what warranted a lot of these buffs, or it getting noticed for a buff. If only they'd noticed the Zaku Mariner now. Yep, rival win rate was 48.8 for the average general, and this had a 45.4. Again, yeah, just not too good. Damage dealt, 66,828 average. This suit had a 65,565 average. So, yeah. And amount of mobile suit losses, not really a big difference. Average general had a solid 3. Well, this had a 3.1, so mobile suit loss didn't seem like it was way too much of an issue, but yeah, just the rest of the stats that this suit had definitely warranted some changes going on. And like I said too, I think they actually address a lot of the issues that I personally had using this suit, which is why I'm a lot more confident in saying, yeah, this suit feels good now. It's obviously not anything like some top tier, you know, I wouldn't say it's a top tier general, like, oh man, you're gonna totally like destroy everyone with this thing, but I do think it's way more viable and I think a bit easier to use as well. So I think overall, let's say it's been a pretty good buff for this suit here. I wish that kind of could be said for a few other suits that got buffed, but overall, I'd say Dezpada, you know, gets a thumbs up for me. I think now it's a lot better, and probably, again, a bit more worth going for, maybe if you want to pull for it or try it. Someday, maybe if they bring it back for a supply drop, or just if you end up getting it, I do think it's a bit more worth at least trying once, which I feel like that's most suits, really. They're usually worth trying once just to see how well you do with it, because not every suit's for everybody. Again, something I mentioned in my last video, but yeah, Dezpada just feels a lot better, so I'm gonna come close to the end of the match here. Last few 20 seconds. And yeah, I think that's everything I really have to say. That is everything for the buffs that this suit got, and I don't really have too much else to say about my thoughts about it. Just yeah, summary, pretty good suit, and pretty good buffs. Hopefully we see way more buffs for these suits like this in the future. A few minor changes. Again, they really didn't have to do anything too crazy for it, but a real quick timeout mission over. And let's see how we did here with the Dezpada. And did get top in damage as well as beat our rival. Actually, no supports this match, which we are on Arctic base, so that's probably a bit understandable as to why. But third place overall with 4 kills and 2 lost. Not too shabby. And yeah, just final things there, and I think that's going to do it for that match there. Just my closing thoughts. Yeah, I think it's good. Really, I do think that they actually fixed the issues that this suit had, and I have been seeing a few more of them, so I do think the buffs did have an impact. So hopefully, you know, like I said before, we do see a lot more suits kind of get just these minor changes, you know, nothing really too crazy going on, just kind of some small stuff that fixes the few issues that some suits might have, because sometimes there's just one small thing that can really hinder a suit. So good to see that they are focusing on trying to fix these smaller things with that. But with that, that's going to be the end of this video here. Comment down below what you think about the buffed Dezpada. Remember to like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video, and with that, I will see you all in the next one. Later.